Traveling as a family can be a fantastic way to connect and to experience new things together. But if you have little ones, it can also be stressful. Today, we're going to go over some travel tips and hacks that parents can use to make things less stressful and still snag a great deal on your next family trip. Welcome to Simplify and Enjoy, the podcast and community focused on helping families have less stress and more options through minimalism and financial independence. I'm your host, Elle Martinez. This podcast is sponsored by Coastal Credit Union. Coastal's mission is to help you live a better life by offering you a better way to bank. Find out how at bankbetter.org. Are you guys planning to travel this season? We are. These past few years, we've developed a new rhythm, you could say, where we travel to catch the changing of the leaves. With the girls now 11 and 7, trips are a lot more fun. We get to have some great conversations in the car. We explore new places to eat or hike together. And our kids have gotten really good with taking pictures and recording videos of our trips. It's by no means perfect, but I'm liking this season of life. Now, rewind a few years back, and things felt different. We still enjoyed traveling together when they were babies and toddlers, but it was challenging. Vacations were a bit of work at that stage, and maybe you feel the same way. The good news is there are different tricks that can help make family vacations more enjoyable for everyone. We're about to enter into a busy season of travel. So today I want to help you save money and have fun together as a family. In this episode, we'll get into travel tips if you have young kids to make it less stressful, snagging last-minute deals, and then I'll share some ideas on affordable and fun family trips to take this season. All right, we have a lot to cover, so let's get started. Traveling with young kids can be rewarding, fulfilling, and at the same time, tiring. You want to enjoy the trip, but for some kids, it's a tough experience. If you're visiting friends and family, you may also have to deal with so many people wanting to hang out with you, and it might not be realistic, at least at this stage. However, there are ways you can relieve a bit of that stress and make the trip easier and more enjoyable for all of you. The first thing to look into is timing your trips. Depending on your kids' natural schedule, their ages, and how and where you're traveling, this is going to vary on time of day. What we found for road trips when our kids were smaller, we left early in the morning so they would be sleeping for a good chunk of the trip. It made it easier to manage. And then when they woke up, we could take the breaks and have them stretch their legs out at certain points. If you're flying, you might want to time it to when they usually take their naps or typically in a more cooperative mood. It'll make things a lot less stressful because you're not having to fight their natural schedule or rhythm. The second tip is build travel into your normal routine. Day trips and weekend outings can be a wonderful way to unwind and start preparing your kids to get into the habit of travel. When they develop their own routines and can, to some degree, self-soothe, it makes it so much easier for you as well. As a parent, I would always suggest making sure you bring snacks. Pack some high-protein snacks instead of the sugary ones when you're traveling. Water is also a must and a go-to drink of ours, especially if you're flying. They seem to be a little stingier on the snacks on some flights. Since we're on the topic of packing, here are a few other things that you want to keep in your bag that are essential for travel. If you have really small ones, have diapers and pull-ups ready. Also, sanitizer and wipes are so helpful. If your little one loves having their pacifier, make sure you also bring a spare. Now, as they get older, I definitely like to include bringing a book. It can be coloring, activity, sketch, or something to read. Books are an easy way to occupy their minds and make the trip seem shorter for them. If you're going on a car ride that's going to be a few hours or longer, games are fantastic for car rides. Our kids love to play with each other in the back seat. That occupies time. Of course, you guys can always play games in the car together. One thing we like to do is the ABC game, where we have to spot something outside the car and we go in alphabetical order. So the first person has to find something that has A, or an exit sign that has something that starts with the letter A. The next person goes with B, C, D, and so on. It gets really challenging on certain letters like Q, Y, and Z, but it definitely keeps the kids entertained and keeps them focused on having fun instead of asking how long is it going to take. My next tip is take a break by a playground. Depending on the length of the trip, you may find that grabbing lunch at a local playground on the way to where you're going can help your kids get some energy out while you rest up a bit. Sometimes we want to go and get to the destination as fast as possible, but taking a break doesn't have to be long, and it can be a way for them to tire out and maybe get them to fall asleep as you go on the next leg of your trip. And then, where do you stay? Now, if you have friends and family you're going to be staying with, that's great. If you are trying to decide between a hotel or an Airbnb, I would say consider getting an Airbnb. A couple things I like about having an Airbnb is the kitchen space, and then depending on the age of your kids, they have a yard they can play in or games that are included with your stay. And that leads into the last one, which is if you're visiting an area where you have lots of relatives and friends, have them come to you. It seems like a small detail, but it's important for us. We've noticed a dramatic difference with the quality of travel when we're seeing our friends and family in Virginia. There's this temptation, and it's great that you're getting invited to different places, but it's exhausting for you, and it can be a recipe for disaster with the kids. Instead, create a simple plan for when and where people can meet up with you. For example, we'll say we're going to be at the zoo at this time. If you want to meet up with us, that's great. Or if you're staying at an Airbnb, you can designate certain times when people can come over and catch up. This takes the pressure off of you getting the kids ready, back in the car, traveling to different spots in town. It's a good balance so your friends and family can still catch up with you, and it would be less stressful on the kids. So there you have it. Those are some tips that will hopefully make your next trip a lot more enjoyable and more relaxing. As always, if you want to talk with other parents in the community that are going through the same stage, or maybe they're a little bit ahead and you want to get some advice, please check out our free Facebook group, Thriving Families. We're a community all about helping each other with our family and financial goals. Just head over to simplifyandenjoy.com/FB. We'd love to see you there. I know situations pop up, and sometimes you just have to travel last minute. Well, that doesn't mean you have to break your budget. Depending on where you're going and the time of year, you may be able to still find a deal. You can improve your chances by trying out some of these tips. The first one, and I always recommend this, is shop around with your travel. Just like with your regular bills, comparing prices with different providers can help you save a significant amount of money. So sites like Kayak, Expedia, Trivago, Hotels.com, those are ways to start off and see, first of all, about how much those trips are going to be, and then you can price shop and find a deal that is cheaper for you. The second is use flight trackers to watch the fares. Flights can vary dramatically. So if you're planning on taking a plane trip, especially when you have multiple tickets to buy, go ahead now and start tracking the prices. You could use Google Flights, Hopper, Airfare Watchdog, lastminute.com. Yep, there's actually a site named that. that can help you get alerts so you can see if the prices are going up or expected to continue to go up, or if now is a great time to buy. Apps like Hopper can help you analyze a ton of flight prices and can give you an estimate about the best time to purchase your tickets. And then, just like I mentioned with the last segment, timing your trips is so crucial. Most of us schedule our trips on the weekends or on Mondays, but if you're willing to go against the grain, you may be able to get a great deal on flights if you leave midweek. Those somewhat quieter times can allow you to save money, and if you're talking about, again, multiple tickets, that can be some big savings. I also want to just briefly mention travel hacking can be a way to save, especially if you're a family who loves to travel far and wide. This might be something to look into. I do have a few specific episodes that go into the ins and outs of how it works, which I'll include in the show notes. Basically, what you're doing is reaping the rewards of credit card bonuses and sign-up deals, and then using those rewards to either get your trips cheaply or in some cases free. You can also use tools and resources like Travel Freely, which helps you see when those deals pop up and what the credit cards are offering. Now, travel hacking is not for everyone, but I wanted to list it because some families absolutely love it. And while you're hunting for a deal, something that surprised me when I was researching this is that even with last minute travel, you might be able to snag something with a travel bundle. So you might find that the flights are too expensive or the hotel is out of your budget. But if you bundle them together, you save enough with the other piece of the vacation bundle that it makes financial sense and keeps you within your overall budget. So just something to consider in case you are going out on a trip. And then finally, to save you time, what I did is I organized all the links to these travel sites I've mentioned, and they will take you directly to their last minute deal pages so you can quickly and easily find the best ones. I just want to make this less stressful and more enjoyable when you go out for your next trip. I mentioned earlier in the episode, one thing that you can do to make your future family trips more enjoyable is getting your kids into the habit with traveling. You can do a lot of easy, fun, and affordable trips staying near your area. There are 3 ideas that I want to highlight that you could try out with your kids this fall or early in the wintertime before it gets too cold. The first is national and state park getaways. Depending on where you live, there may be a park that's near you that you could either do a day, weekend trip, or if they're a little bit older, you can stay longer. One of the things we love to do in the fall with the leaves changing color is head over to the Asheville area. There are so many different parks that you can take that allow you to enjoy the great outdoors on the cheap. For example, if you do have young ones with you, doing the Blue Ridge Parkway can be a good balance of having that ease of driving to different locations. And then when you're ready to take them out, get some pictures, get them running and enjoying the sights. The second is zoo and animal parks. Kids really enjoy this. This is a great way for them to, again, do something short like a day trip or an overnight trip to someplace, spend the day at the zoo, get them outside, enjoying this beautiful autumn weather, and it's not too expensive. Finally, this is geared more towards if you have older kids or you are more of an outdoor family, is camping. This is a ridiculously inexpensive way to go on vacation if you have the skills and the equipment. And if you don't, a lot of the campgrounds do have these mini cabins where you can experience this outdoors living without having to completely rough it. So there are different opportunities out there that you can do with your kids. The important part is that you're spending time with them and just tailor it and time how long you go for these trips based on your family situation. You may find that just simply having a change of scenery is beneficial to you and to them. If you're like us, you probably have quite a number of accounts between the two of you, including your old 401ks. It can be difficult to stay on top of everything, especially when your old employer switches providers, which is what happened with my husband. Here's where our sponsor, Capitalize, can help. Capitalize helps you find and roll over an old 401k into an IRA of your choice for free. They handle the entire process. And yes, that includes calling your old employer or the 401k provider on your behalf. If you're ready to make managing your old 401ks much easier, find out more at simplifyandenjoy.com/capitalize. Before we wrap up, I want to share a few key takeaways I picked up while preparing this episode. The first is make travel a part of your family routine and budget. You don't have to do these huge getaways, leave the country, slow travel. You can make travel what you need it to be. It can be overnight trips, weekend trips, day trips, however you want to. But having travel as a part of your budget and routine is really beneficial. It's a way for you to recharge and reset. As a family, this is an opportunity for you guys to catch up and talk with each other. The second is give your kids some say over the trip. Now that our girls are a little bit older, this is a fantastic way for them to have a little more responsibility and to have a little more control over how we spend our trips. We ask them for ideas. We also let them be in charge of certain parts of the budget, like snacks and planning things out. They're small, maybe in the grand scheme of things, but this is something where they can shine and get some practice in. It empowers them and it gets them into the habit of enjoying travel. Finally, flexibility can help you get some great last-minute deals. I know sometimes we have a very specific destination in mind and we have to go there, and that's fine. If, however, you're in a situation where you can be flexible about when and where you can leave, you can get some great deals even last minute. Now, one question you might have is, where do we get the money to travel? So if you're looking for ways to stash away money for your next family trip, don't forget we have a free course. It's called 5 Days to 5K. It's a free email-based course that gives you lessons on ways to save, find, and earn extra money so you can reach your family and financial goals a lot faster. Just head over to simplifyandenjoy.com/5K. I hope you enjoyed this episode, and I hope this makes your next family trip a lot less stressful, more enjoyable, and still helps you save some money. As always, I'll include links to the resources we've mentioned today, plus more tools that can make managing your money easier in the show notes at Simplify and Enjoy. Next week on the podcast, well, I thought I'd mix it up a little bit. Instead of giving you a preview, I'd like to do a contest and give you an Amazon gift card for $25. I want you to guess what you think next episode's topic is going to be about. So if you get the weekly newsletter, all you have to do is hit reply. Or if you're on social media, go tag me at Simplify and Enjoy and let me know what your guess is. I'll pick the winner Monday morning. By the way, if you don't want to miss out on any episode of the podcast, make sure you're subscribed. We're on iTunes, Spotify, Audible, wherever you get your shows. Our theme song was by Staircases. Additional music by various artists over at Audio. Finally, and most importantly, thank you so much, not just for listening to the show, but for all of your support. Please keep sending in those questions, stories, and ideas you have. And I am so grateful you're sharing your favorite episodes with your friends. I hope you have a wonderful week. Take care.